This is a very spontaneous video, no fancy intro. I just had to share this. So this is a happy mail I received from dear Elena from Germany. Hi Elena, if you're watching this. So this was the envelope the happy mail came in. This was obviously not painted. Both of our addresses were here, so I just covered those up with paint. And just in case you're wondering concerning sending me happy mail, it's a really difficult subject for me because I get requests from you wanting to send me happy mail, and I think it is the cutest thing ever that you want to send me things. It just really overwhelms me seeing so much material, and I already have too much in my room. I don't even know where to put everything I have, and I don't want to clutter up my room. Not that your happy mail items would be clutter, but you know what I mean. It just accumulates so quickly, and if you're a junk journaler, you know what I mean. So it is very rare that I accept a happy mail, and this was one of the rare times that I did. And I am so in love with this envelope. I have been staring at this for a long time, and every time I look at it, I see more details. I mean, look at the collaging. I already wrote Elena, I don't know how long she spent on this, but it is such a piece of art and it makes me smile so much. It makes me happy. I love how colorful it is. Look at all these tiny details. These are not stickers. This is hand painted. And then there's so many cute details here. Of course, there's the cute dragonflies. Then it says, thank you for your inspiring videos. This is Elena's Instagram, Nagissimo. Look at this cute collage. All of these letters are hand cut from magazines. Upcycled envelope, junk art, for all for good. And then this, I think it's just fabulous. Hooray, it's a happy mail for you. Greetings from Germany. Have a nice day today. And look at this guy. I mean, this is so amazing. There's stickers on here. And then here it says Barbara all around these circles. I love it. Elena, you really made me smile. So I've been thinking about what can I do with this envelope because I need to use it in some way. It is too large to add to my planner. And this envelope inspires me to be very playful. So I want to make a very simple and fun journal out of this. More like a writing journal, I think. If you've seen the title of this video, you will know what it looks like before I do, because I have no idea. But I do know that I can fold this in half. And this works out great as a cover. So this would be the back. What a fun journal, right? And I'm sharing this with you because maybe you have fun envelopes, or maybe you want to decorate an envelope and then just make it into a super simple junk journal. So the first thing I want to do to make sure that this stays as beautiful as it is, because it also has, you know, stickers and things that could come off with time, I want to add some transparent gesso on top. Alternatively, I could add matte medium. This one is by Amsterdam. So I will carefully put this over everything. And I'm hoping, because this is the one thing I am really scared of, that some of these things might smear, because of course I don't know what mediums Elena used. And I'm being quite careful so that if anything smears, I can stop right away. So that is something to be mindful of if you're going to decorate your envelope. Oh, look, this is smearing a little bit, but that's okay. I can live with that. If you're going to decorate your envelope with markers and all kinds of water-soluble mediums, then it's better. Oh, I should have done that. I did not think of that before. See, I'm learning while I'm talking. Then it would be better to use a fixative spray or even just a hairspray. But the advantage of using the transparent gesso, or yeah, this is smearing a little bit, but that's okay. I'd rather have that smeared a little bit than to have parts coming off over time. So now I lost my train of thought. It has continued without me. So the advantage of using matte medium or transparent gesso is that it also helps to keep any stickers or anything that's glued on down, which the fixative will not. Okay, I'm going to hold this against the light. Oh, but what else would have been really good if I would have thought about this longer is maybe to first spray some fixative. I mean something like this. This one is from my local art store. It's called Universal Varnish with UV protection for acrylic oil and distemper paintings. It's a matte spray film. Again, you can use hairspray alternatively. I have done that in the past and that works just fine. Maybe first add that so that nothing smears, and then you add your transparent gesso or matte medium. So I quickly dried this, and I don't know why it did this, but you see all of this here? I don't know why it's left these brush marks. Very interesting. So I'm going to take a permanent marker and go over just these black letters and numbers because that kind of bothers me. For the rest, it's fine. Okay, so that's much better. And for the inside, I have this torn flap here. I think I'm just going to glue that down because even if I decide to have a pocket here, I wouldn't use the flap. Although another option would be to just strengthen the flap by gluing another paper over it, which would be nice because I like the folded edge here rather than a cut edge. Usually I would want my pocket to be in the back of the journal, but in this case I cannot do that because then this would be in the back. No, this definitely looks like a front to me. I have some parts left over from the paper bag I used to make my current planner. So I think I'll use that. Let's trace the shape of the flap. Let's cut a little bit inside those lines. This really takes me back to 10 years ago when I started making journals. To just use very simple materials, use what you have at home. Great times. I was so obsessed. And every time I see a comment from one of you saying that you just discovered junk journaling, it makes me so happy because it takes me back to the time when I discovered junk journaling, and it was the best time because I was so obsessed. And every free minute I had, I was making something in my journal or a new journal, and it was really all very simple and I just loved it. This seems like it's going to fit. So good job. Now I need to glue this on. The question is always, what glue do we use? So I have decided for a bookbinder's glue. This one is by Kolal. Bookbinder's glues hold very well. They're very strong. And I should not do this on my envelope. I chose this one also because I can easily spread it with a brush and get an even coat. I would not use a glue stick because I don't trust that to hold over the years. And I do want this to hold up for a long time because it's so much fun to look back on these journals. I also get questions sometimes, what do you do with the glue brush so that it doesn't dry out? I will either wash it immediately, or in this case, I will fill a jar of water and keep it in there in case I use more glue later on. So there's my jar. Brush goes in there and I don't have to worry about it. You can also, of course, use a damp paper towel and fold that over the tip of your brush to keep it from drying out. So let's do our best to line this up and not close it. by gluing it over. And we can always adjust it by cutting it down a little bit more. Okay, this strengthens the flap. This is perfect. And we'll just adjust it here. This bit here, I'll just glue down with my art glitter glue. Maybe we'll put something over that, we'll see. And you see there's another small tear here, which would probably tear more with time, but I'm going to cover that with a piece of masking tape. And then I'm going to cover the whole inside with fabric. And I chose this fun one. This one is called Scribble Charcoal, and it's by eBond, part of the collection called Ravel. Same collection that this one is from, which is the inside of my current planner. So that's the same collection. How fun! I always have links to the German online store where I buy these beautiful designer fabrics for you below. It's not an affiliate link or anything. So let us see how large this needs to be. And actually I want to glue this part down here a little better as well. Okay, this is not torn straight, unfortunately. So we will have to make sure that we have straight edges. And I want some of the fabric to peek out a little bit, so I don't want to cut it too close to the edge. Yeah, this is very wonky, so I need straight edges for this. And I'm not wasting these strips. I will use them probably as tag toppers or something. Plenty of things we can do with those. I love tearing fabric rather than cutting it, because then you have these beautifully frayed, fuzzy edges. Okay, let's just double check. It should be fine. So next I'm going to do the same thing that I do with my junk journal planners, which is to use some thinned down PVA glue. And I'll start on one end. Let's start here, it doesn't really matter which end. And cover our surface with the glue. Whenever you adhere fabric, it is important to have an even thin coating. You don't want your fabric to show any folds afterwards, and you want it adhered evenly to your whole surface. So since the glue dries pretty quickly when you put such a thin layer on, I always like starting on one end. Let's turn it around to make sure that we are somewhat straight. Yeah. And then just make sure there's no folds. Also, I'll wipe away any glue here that I got on the inside. And then I'll just continue with that process. Okay, there's a bit much sticking out here. So I'll just cut that down. Now, unfortunately, I cannot tear it because the strip isn't wide enough to tear, but I can still fray it. So I'm not cutting it down all the way to the edge. And then I'll just fray it by hand. There. Here as well, that's a bit too much for me. Okay, so when we fold this now, we have these fun edges peeking out. I just love that. And it, of course, also makes it super sturdy. Now, if we wanted to make it more fancy, we could add some more fabric here on the inside flap. No, I think it's fine, but you could. This is what I usually do with my planners. Let me show you again here. So basically that's the same thing, but this was a paper bag, and this has the flap and it's covered with the fabric on the inside and on the outside. And then I just made a closure with 2 brads. So that's a really fun option. I love this. I can still decide on that later. My next step will be to sew around it. It's not necessary because this is adhered all the way to the edges, but I do love the look. So this is what we have now. What I usually like doing, if I have the patience, is to go around 3 times. Twice with a running stitch, and the 3rd time I will alternate between a running stitch and a zigzag stitch. I also went around the flap here of the envelope to give that a little more definition. And on the inside, we have it like that. So we still have the open pocket. The next thing that is calling to me is this fabric, oops, needs some more color because the outside is so cute and colorful. And the inside, I mean, it would be totally fine to leave it like this. I love contrasting insides and outsides. Another example again is my planner. This is the outside and this is the very unexpected inside, which I just love. I love the contrast. We have vintage outside, we have a loud, screaming, contemporary fabric inside. I think it's super fun. So it would work, but I would just love to have more color here. We could just use acrylic paint, of course, but I'm going to make my life easier and use these chalk markers. I love these neon colors. I've been using these a lot lately. I happened to find these in my art store. So let's make some marks here. Since there's circles here already, I want to add some more fun circles. Oh, that's really fun. This can become very addictive. I already see that. Oh, this is great. Oh my goodness, how do you stop once you start with this? Oh wow, I love it. Let's add some bright pink. Oh wow. Of course, you don't need to have this fabric to have fun drawing circles or any other shapes you want on your fabric, but this really inspired me now. Because how fun is that? There's also some like faux writing here. Should we give that a try? I like the circles better. But I'm actually fine with this. You're gonna ask me if these are permanent, right? It says opaque liquid chalk for windows, dartboards, glass and mirrors. Wipes off virtually all non-porous surfaces with a damp cloth. Since we are working on a porous surface, these are not going to wipe off. So that's awesome. Otherwise, again, I could spray it with some fixative or hairspray if I was worried about this coming off. But look, it's totally not. So that's awesome. I actually love the contrast of this plain flap here on this fun fabric. But what I do not like is that, of course, it's kind of open and this is going to bother me. So I will need to make a closure for this. So let's take some cardboard. This is from Greek yogurt, and punch some circles. Alternatively, if you do not have a circle punch, you take an object to trace, like a marker or whatever you have, a glue stick maybe. Let's see how many layers we need to make it sturdy. Oh, this is actually quite sturdy. So 2 is definitely going to be enough. So I will glue them onto each other. And I want to cover these in the same fabric. So we'll use this strip, and since I can't use my punch on the fabric, I am simply going to glue these onto the fabric. And then simply cut them out. And then I want to define these edges a little bit more, so I will go around them with walnut stain. That will give them a finished look. How fun are these? I'm having the best time. I feel like a little kid. So these will go, yeah, somehow like this. Before I do that, I kind of want to add something here. I don't want to cover it because I do love the contrast, but maybe we can stamp something there. How about we stamp 2 and 4 for 2024? That could be fun. They don't completely fit. I mean, the 2 is fine. The 4 is a bit wide, but we'll still be able to see what it is. I love it. So this is a collection by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. They're called Paint by Numbers CMS 483. They are from his newest collection. I will link these for you below. Let's turn this around. Ooh, or 49. No, we have the 49 here. That's fine. We'll do 24. The button is going to go somewhere in the middle, so I don't want the button covering the number. I am obsessed with this stamp set. I mean, distressed numbers. Hello, is there anything better? I don't know. So these will be here. Oh, I like it. So where are, there they are. We need to punch holes. So I'm taking my crocodile. If you don't have one, you can use an awl. But if you're into junk journal making and you do not have a crocodile yet, I again highly suggest this is something you invest in. I know it's not the cheapest tool, but you're going to have it for the rest of your crafting life. So it's so worth the investment because it adds so much to your journals. And of course, we also need holes here. So let's draw those here. And then this one, let's put it here. So this one is easy on the flap. Either you have a big bite for this one because your regular crocodile will not reach. So the big bite is the large version of this, which reaches much farther in. Or you take your awl, or maybe you have a tool like this. This one happens to be, I think, from Fiskars. They come in various widths here on the top. And in case you don't know these, you put these where you want the hole, then you pull these and you release it and it will make the hole. Even through fabric, it is super loud, but it's very effective. I will do this off camera. So once we have the holes, I have mine here now. Let's take brads. So one goes through here. I like adding a piece of tape over the legs just to make sure that nothing gets caught on them. Like that. And then we'll put the other one on the flap. You could cover that up. Should we do that? Let's see. No, I think I'll just leave it for now. Maybe I'll cover it later. And finally, we just need some twine. I'm thinking either this pink and white baker's twine could be fun, could also be too much. We have this black and white thinner baker's twine. I like that one. Yep, let's just do that. So we'll just put some around this top piece. We'll tie a double knot. I will cut the short end off underneath that disc so that we don't see the end. And then we just wrap it around a few times, like an 8. And snip that off. I love this. And for the pages inside, I want to use recycled materials like packaging paper and other recycled papers that I have around me. So I took some out and I will tear these down to fit into my journal. So I have 13 pages here now. That number is pure coincidence. I want this journal to only have one signature, so these might be a bit too much, but we will see. So let's just put these together so that we don't have two of the same next to each other. And what do we want as the first one? The first one I think needs to be a smaller piece. Maybe this one. I want to be able to see the layers right from the beginning. So if we use all the papers, then this is what it looks like. I think this should be fine. Let's try it. Oh yeah. I'm not sure yet what I will be using this for, but I think I'll have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I think this works really well. Oh, and I love the match of these two. And then we have some more of that color peeking out on this side. That's fun. The pink here with the pink. Yes, I think this works well. I'm going to take some large paper clips to hold these in place. And I will usually just do that on the front half of the papers, not on the back. I feel it works better if the back half is loose. I wish I had larger paper clips, but this is what I have, so this will have to work. It will be fine. It's a junk journal. Then we need to poke holes, and I think I'll actually poke right through the cover since I'm just doing one row and a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Very, very easy. I think I'll do 5 holes because I have so many different paper sizes. I think they will be held together better if we do 5 holes. So let's make sure it's placed in the middle of my cover. Let's also make sure that it's in the middle. Whoops, see, I just moved it. I'll just estimate where the middle is, approximately here. And then we'll poke right through the cover. Like that. And then we just hold this in place and we poke 2 more holes, approximately the same distance from the middle hole on either side. And we do that one more time. Poking right through the cover. I'm trying not to move this, but in any case, I see where the holes are. It's no problem. I'm going to use the same black and white baker's twine that I used for the closure of our pocket. So let's measure 3 heights of the book. 1, 2, 3. And take a large needle. So let's start from the middle. And we'll go up. Make sure to pull this tight. Then we'll go on the hole that's on the outside. Then we go into that same hole here, go back down. Make sure that we do not pierce the thread, otherwise we won't be able to pull it tight. Always pull your threads in between. Then we skip the middle hole. Go down to this hole. Feels crooked somehow, but we'll see in the end if it really is. With a light fabric like this, it's easy to see the holes. If you have a darker fabric, that can be very, very challenging. Then go back in through this outer hole. And then we go back up here to this one. Again, making sure not to pierce the thread. And finally, we come back in the middle again. And this time we want to make sure not only not to pierce the thread, but also to come back out on the other side of this twine. Like that. And then we again pull to make sure that everything is nice and tight. We can also check here if everything is nice and tight, and then we just make a double knot. You could also start from the outside and then have your threads dangling on your spine, and then maybe add a fandangle. You could of course also add a fandangle here. Let's do that because it's fun. So I won't cut it too short. Let's take these paper clips off and let's find a fandangle. So I found this piece of broken jewelry and I really like this cute flower here, and it's pinkish. I mean, it's more magenta, but I think it will work, right? So I think I can just take it off because it has 2 loops here, and we could thread our twine through one of these loops. I think it's so fun to repurpose broken jewelry. Okay, so we have the piece separated. And now I just need to tie this around. And I want it so that it dangles out from the bottom here. I'll just make a double knot. And snip the short end off. Maybe there's another piece here that I could add to the other end. We have this very abstract butterfly. I think that's the only other like focal point. Let's try it. We could even leave a little tail. That would be fun. Actually, let's add a jump ring to this one. Okay, let's snip that off. So cute. What I would have loved to do if this was not an envelope is to stitch around here a few times. But I can't because we have a pocket here. That's a bummer. I don't have a solution for that. Also, these would have been really fun to just stitch along. The only way I could have done that, if I would have thought about it earlier, would have been to take the envelope apart, to cut the front and the back off, to stitch and then re-glue them. That would have been really, really fun. But that's maybe something you could do. So there's my new journal. I think it is so fun. We have the signature stitched in here. We have our flower dangle, or is it supposed to be a butterfly? No, I think this is supposed to be a flower. So cute. I love this inside pocket. We can open it. Put something in here. And then we have lots of fun papers to do something with. I need to figure that out. A true junk journal. We have another cute dangle there. And the sounds. We could add another pocket here if you wanted to. There's so many things we could do. So thank you again, Elena, for this beautiful envelope. You made my day for sure. I hope you give this a try. Even if you're a seasoned junk journaler, go back to basics. It's really fun. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.